The competition on Great British Menu is ferocious. The nation's top chefs are straining every muscle to produce spectacular food to share. There's been drama and despair. And the veteran chefs are very demanding.
This competition is tough, tough, tough. These guys have got to nail every single dish.
This week, 3 of the top chefs from London and the South East enter the fray. Last year's regional champion, Tom Kerridge, went on to cook the main course at the banquet. But that was last year, and now Tom's being challenged by 2 newcomers, rising star Phil Thompson and the truly formidable Tom Aikins. It's going to be a titanic struggle.
It's pretty immense. It's 3 Michelin star chefs. Everyone in there is a winner. Everyone just wants to be the winner of winners.
This year, the chef's big challenge is to seek out those remarkable people in their local communities who bring us all together through the power of food. The People's Banquet will be for them, a celebration of their work, and they'll be amongst the guests.
It's very important with the banquet to reward sort of people that have done a lot for the community. You know, it's been an amazing experience to be part of.
These outstanding chefs have to create dishes that are ideal for sharing.
Yeah, that's delicious.
Platters that will astonish the guests and get everyone talking at the ultimate street party. Scrutinising the chefs this week is another Michelin star winner, one of only 3 chefs to have cooked 2 courses at a banquet. It's former London and South East champion Jason Atherton. His scores will determine who faces the judges on Friday.
This is the People's Banquet. These guys have to get the brief right, and that is sharing food. If they don't get that right, they're in big trouble.
1 fish and chips, yes?
Chef.
Today it's the battle of the starters, and the first contender is Tom Kerridge, chef patron of the Hand and Flowers in Marlow, where he serves up his brand of modern British cooking.
Flavour, taste, simplicity. Those are the things that really, really work for me.
And that approach took Tom all the way to the banquet with the Prince of Wales last year.
I did. One time I did the main course. Did the duck, yeah. I did the duck main course. Oh, the pot with the peas in. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Tom thinks this year's People's Banquet is made for him.
I'm one of the people, I'm cooking people's food. There has to be room for at least one of my dishes on the banquet, if not 2, 3 or all 4 of them. Right, let's go then, please. Service. Good morning.
Hello, Tom. What have we got?
Spring lamb broth. A couple of different cuts of lamb.
And what are you going to do with all this?
It's kind of a play on Malaysian, Vietnamese kind of street food.
Okay.
A little bit of green chilli, help to lift the richness of the lamb.
What inspired you to cook this dish for the people?
It's the point of sharing, that somebody actually has to take the top off the bowl of soup and they have to ladle it out to everybody else. So that's where the inspiration for this comes from.
And are you feeling nervous? You worried?
Last year, I thought I was going out, and it was one of the worst experiences I've ever had. I definitely don't want to be in that space again.
Tom's mixing up British and Asian influences in his soup starter with a pastry topping. But there's one element of the dish that has Jason worried.
Tom Kerridge got an unusual dish going on here, a soup with raw lamb. So the soup's got to cook the lamb. That's a risky thing to do. So I just hope Tom's thought about that.
But Tom's facing a much bigger challenge than that.
Next away, 1 bass, 1 JD, 1 lamb, yeah?
Next up is Tom Aikins, the youngest chef ever to earn 2 Michelin stars. He earned a reputation not only for subtle and intense cuisine, but also for being a real bad boy in the kitchen.
The foie gras garnish, please.
At the age of 26, when I was running Pied à Terre, I was a complete loon.
Joe, can I have foie gras garnish?
I just bottle everything up and then suddenly, you know, going mad over someone overcooking a piece of meat, which now is going, okay, well, just put another one on. Hopefully we'll learn not to do it again.
Tom now runs restaurant Tom Aikins in central London and has an unshakable confidence in his own ability.
No one can beat me on a good day. No one.
So what have we got here?
So basically it's a quail consommé with quail dumplings and spring vegetables.
It looks quite fine dining. You've got foie gras, you've got truffles. It's not necessarily what people in the community would eat. You know, what was the inspiration for the dish?
Well, that's exactly it. It's not what they would normally eat, so that's why I want to impress them. Hence the foie gras and the truffles. Depth of taste, that'll be the sort of the wow factor. It's going to be a stunning dish.
In the industry, we all know about Tom Aikens, Mr. Competitive, runs marathons.
To say that I have a competitive nature, I think, is an understatement. I'm, aiming to win, definitely.
Tom's going for an upmarket starter with his quail consommé with quail dumplings and spring vegetables. But is it right for a street party?
Got to be about a sharing dish and not just get lost in this whole Michelin star, tiny little vegetables, foie gras, truffle type way, but something where people can ladle it out and go, wow, this is fantastic.
Samage 4 covers de jour, free salmon, 1 serene, free beef, 1 place de jour.
The last competitor is Phil Thompson, who trained under Marco Pierre White on his way to becoming executive chef at the Auberge du Lac in Hertfordshire, where he delivers French food with modern English twists.
I like to cook food that I like to eat. There's some quirkiness in there, and I say it's all about having fun, and I think there's a bit of my personality in every dish I do. It's honest food.
It's an approach that recently won him a Michelin star, and he's hoping that he can win the London and South East heat as well.
I'm up against the 2 Michelin star chef and the boy that won the main course last year, so I've got me work cut out.
Service.
Hi Phil.
Morning, chef.
So what are you cooking?
Dish I'm going to do is a pea velouté with rabbit canapes. A lovely rabbit. Take the livers out, make a parfait, not trying to go too far, because it is the people's banquet, so you don't want to go too chefy.
And what's your inspiration for this dish?
My dad used to breed rabbits when I was younger. One day he'd be playing with Thumper in a garden, and next day wasn't there, but the stew we had was quite nice the night before.
And are you nervous?
Very.
Interesting. 3 soups. The Battle of the Potage. Wish you all the best, and it's game on.
Phil's soup is a technically demanding velouté with several side dishes. It'll show off his skill, but Jason can see some potential pitfalls.
Phil's got to be extremely careful. He's got a few things that can go wrong with his dish. First thing I picked up on is using frozen peas, because frozen peas can go chalky. Then we move on to his canapes, which is potentially very, very dangerous. The meat can dry out in an instant. I'll be keeping a close eye on Phil.
The starting gun's been fired and all 3 chefs know they're in for a roller coaster ride.
Okay, young Phil, how are we feeling? First day in the kitchen, first thing going on?
Yeah, feeling good, but nervous. Right next to you. Won it last year.
I think we're all going to have a little fight on our hands, aren't we?
Keep it clean though, yeah? No low blows.
No dirty punches.
They're all eyeing each other up, but watching over all 3 is Jason, demanding first-class cooking. And there's ample scope for comparison with 3 soups on the menu.
That was a bit of a surprise to me, but what I'm looking for in a soup is the foundation. They can do all the trickery in the world to jazz it up, but the bottom line is a soup has to taste great. It's really, really important that they get this first dish absolutely on the money.
These 3 chefs are amongst the best in Britain, but they've been catapulted into an unfamiliar kitchen and they're out of their comfort zone.
Nerves are starting, so trying to look at seeing what else everyone else is doing. But yeah, it's just get my first dish out of the way, and I'm sure the hand will stop shaking.
Tom Aikens isn't shaking at all. He's as cool as a cucumber, and his rivals can't help but notice.
Tom's got his head down, like we all knew he would. His head down, working very fast, working very quickly, getting his job done.
But Tom Kerridge does have the advantage of having been here before, so the unflappable Mr. Aikens is probing his rival on what to expect.
Tom, what's it like being in the judges' room?
It's terribly nerve-wracking.
I bet it is. You got a lot of contracting muscles.
Yeah, that's it. yeah.
They're cooking at close quarters.
Sorry, Chef Budget.
Oh.
And that adds to the pressure they're under. But Tom Kerridge isn't worried about putting his rivals off.
Yes, a bit noisy over here, you know, I'm just minding my own business. We all know you're here, mate.
Good Chef, you just sold in my pan.
He did.
Thought they got out quickly.
Tom Aikens is busy making his consommé. Quail, vegetables and herbs are mixed with egg whites and then slowly simmered. Tom Kerridge, who's also making a broth, is keeping a close eye on what his rival's doing.
Crushed ice in.
Yeah. So you can do it boiling. So you don't bring it up slowly. So there we have it. So you've got the veg in there, the chicken, ice, egg white.
And the ice.
And the ice. That cools it straight down. So you can then put it into boiling stock.
Okay. I've never seen that before, Chef. I'm so glad you're here.
Phil will be plating up first, and Jason's noticed that he's been a bit quiet.
You're sweating a bit there, Chef.
Yeah, the pressure's on, feeling it.
So what's going on here?
I've got my soup ready to go.
Happy with the colour of that?
Yeah, it's nice and bright, it's nice and light.
Yeah. How do you feel coming up first, Phil?
I'll set the standard and see if the others can follow.
Phil's passion for cooking goes right back to his childhood in Essex, where his dad was a butcher and his mum worked as a chef.
It's always nice to come back to Dagenham, even on a lovely day like this. You know, the sun's always shining in Dagenham.
The first vehicle rolled off the Ford production line 80 years ago, and most of Phil's family worked here.
My mum, my nan, my uncle, my sister have all graced the kitchens here.
He's arranged to meet his mum and sister Tracy in the canteen.
Hiya. We ain't had a shave. Hello, darling.
So what we've ever done in this family is serve people and
It's
try and make people happy with food.
Phil's ambition to cook and share food was born in the works canteen, and if he makes it through to the People's Banquet, he wants the family who nurtured his career to join him.
You mean we get to go?
Oh yeah, no, but yeah, I want you there.
Really? Serious? No, Mummy's going to sit down and watch her. I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand it. Get to how cold would
That's
that
if
be?
I've got to pull out the bag first, I mean, so I don't get too
Don't you let me
excited.
down. Don't you let me down.
Extra pressure.
Yeah, definitely.
Back in the kitchen, Phil's making the rabbit, shallot and herb covering for the Scotch eggs he'll serve with his soup. All three chefs are determined to deliver the winning starter without a hitch.
Tom? Yes, Chef?
All going to plan?
Well, so far so good. It's a little bit hot. I'm a little bit nervous about, you know, puff pastry and that, but at the minute it feels okay, it looks okay. I'm going to bash it in the oven in a bit and we'll keep our fingers crossed, Chef.
Tom's philosophy is to take fresh seasonal produce and let the ingredients speak for themselves, an approach to cooking that goes back to his childhood. Tom grew up on an estate in the West Country where his mother still lives. It was in her kitchen that he learned to cook for himself and his brother while she was out at work.
Me and my brother ended up being what's called latchkey kids, I suppose. And we used to get in at night and I'd be the person that would cook tea. Knock, knock. Hey! Hey! Hey, how you doing, man? You all right?
Oh, God, you're cold.
Oh, it's cold outside. Hello, Chief. How you doing? You all right? I'm all right, mate. Good to see you. Hey, you!
To get ideas for his banquet menu, Tom wants to share some cooking memories.
And do you remember this cake that you made?
I made that cake.
You made that cake.
I made a guide
iced
dog
it.
cake. Do you think that I would go on from making guide dog cakes to being a chef?
No.
It was a family meal out that first made Tom think of a cooking career.
The waitress took you out into the kitchen and gave you one of those great big chef's hats. You kept that chef's hat for a long, long time.
Tom's knocking up a simple supper for everyone. Could this be a possible dish for the banquet?
Toasted buns, burgers and double Gloucester cheese. This for me is perfect food to share. I've got to lift the humble burger, which is something great, into something outstanding.
This looks good, thank you.
You don't look convinced by that.
I'm not a great fan of beef burgers.
Maybe I could do burgers, but not using beef. Yeah.
Good lad. Bit more?
In the kitchen, there's a fierce sense